Welcome back. A new poll shows 88% of American voters are growing increasingly worried about China and its AI capabilities and how its growth could boost Beijing's military. The report from the American Edge Project shows the breakdown between political parties. 66% of Democrats and 69% of Republicans say they're either somewhat or very worried about China. Joining me now is American Edge Project CEO Doug Kelly. Doug, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. What other takeaways should we be looking at? What do you think of these results? And how do you think the U.S. can gain ground against Beijing with regard to AI?
Yeah, thanks for having me today. Look, those numbers are really powerful, right? The voters understand that China's aggressively executing a plan to become global tech leader, and their focus has been on artificial intelligence. So America has to do the very same thing. In fact, one of the things in our poll, too, showed that a vast majority of MAGA voters were concerned about China becoming the AI leader as well. So these are table setters for members of Congress and the president to say, hey, listen, we've got work to do in boosting and accelerating American edge, in American innovation. And so let's get down to business.
Well, I mean, does that mean putting exports restrictions on chips to China? Does that mean a change in policy from the U.S.'s standpoint?
But you know what it means? It means embracing our strength. For example, President Trump gets the importance of beating China, right? But too many lawmakers in the U.S. House and around state houses across the country are focused on regulating AI and undermining our ability to become the global innovation leader. That's why when the House passed the 10-year moratorium on state-based AI legislation, that was really critical because that's going to help unlock a lot of growth. And we've seen this before. In the early days of the internet, the House and the Senate came together and said, look, we want to grow this technology. We want to make sure American internet standards become the global standards. And so they prohibited internet taxes by the states. Fast forward 20 years, America's internet is the global standard. So we have right now a modern day moonshot moment for the president and the Congress. They can put an American innovation strategy front and center that helps accelerate AI development, that helps build the technology talent pool of the future, that invests in our infrastructure, and also spreads American AI across the globe. Right. If they do those four things, it will fundamentally change the balance of power towards America for the next 50 years. But if we don't do it, China is going to seize that moment.
Yeah, I'm with Tiana Low-Desher today. Tiana, jump in.
Hi, Maria. And so when the Senate is now putting up for their draft of the One Big Beautiful Bill, they still have this 10-year moratorium. It's conditioned a little differently. But members of the House that had already voted on the Big Beautiful Bill, such as Marjorie Taylor Greene, they want the Senate to take out that moratorium. Their argument is that it's just trying to appeal to corporate interests. What is the counter argument for those who are claiming that the ban should be taken out of this bill?
The counter argument is pretty simple. China has a three-part plan to seize global tech leadership. First, they're investing $1.4 trillion in the technologies of the future. Second, each year they hack and steal $500 billion of tech and trade secrets from the United States. And the third piece is they want to make the globe increasingly dependent on its technology so that it gains political and economic leverage and also embeds communist values into the global digital infrastructure. Those values couldn't be different than America's, right? Communist values are based on censorship, surveillance, and control. American values, which are embedded in our tech, are about freedom, democracy, opportunity, and transparency. It's a pretty simple choice of what we have to do and what we want done here. So people shouldn't take that provision out. It should pass because AI is the deciding factor for our national security and our economic growth for the next 20 years.
Well, I mean, look, that's why the president is doubling down on the need for rare earth minerals. And we're dependent to some extent on China for those rare earth minerals. The president wants to do mining here. But many top technology CEOs are sounding off on China's AI advancements and the need to innovate to protect national security. I spoke with the CEO and executive chairman, founder of Divergent Technologies. He is the, he's not the CEO, he's the executive chairman and founder, Kevin Zinger. He was on this program last week. He brought a missile to set. He's doing 3D technology. Listen to this.
It's all about leapfrogging China. So obviously, China has a massive industrial base. It's happened because China intentionally has had trade policies to hollow out American manufacturing. China is now in a position around 40% of global manufacturing market share, where they're the manufacturing power. The only way to flip the script is for us to use our innovation.
I mean, so we're not just facing China's own innovation after they were stealing it for so many decades, but we're also facing China trying to hollow out overall manufacturing. That's the reason the president is trying to encourage corporate America to bring the supply chains home, Doug.
China thinks in terms of 100-year intervals, with detailed strategic plans every single 5 years, right? And sometimes we're too focused on quarterly results or two-year election cycles, et cetera. We have to think longer term. So when I talk about this national innovation strategy, it's pretty simple, right? That's a strategy that doubles down on what makes America great, right? Innovation, people, infrastructure, and spreading American values across the globe. If we are able to do that by Congress and President Trump coming together and saying, look, we're going to set this together, we're going to lock in this foundation for decades to come, then just like President Kennedy did with his moonshot, and that changed the balance of power for 5 decades, we can do the same here right now. It's right at our fingertips. But here's the thing, the stakes are incredibly high. China is running full speed at it, and we have to run faster and work harder. But it starts in Washington. It starts in the state capitals of agreeing, like, we are in a race for future leadership. And if we don't win this thing, we're going to fall behind in a way where we cannot catch up. So American innovation matters. It matters which country builds the future.
I could not agree more. You're right, Doug. Good to see you this morning. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me.